Welcome back. It looks like the presidential handoff has officially started. Joe Biden was formally given the green light by the chief of the GSA to begin a transition to the White House. But at the same time, President Trump is continuing his legal challenges to the November 3rd election. He's alleging widespread voter fraud. He tweeted out last night, "Oh, Trump, what does GSA being allowed to preliminarily work with the Dems have to do with continuing to pursue our various cases on what will go down as the most corrupt election in American political history? We are moving full speed ahead, never will concede to fake ballots and Dominion." So what exactly is going on here? Here to discuss is Megyn Kelly, legendary journalist, host of the Megyn Kelly Show podcast, which you should all subscribe to and check out for yourselves. Megyn, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, good to see you, Buck.
So there's a lot of people complaining and freaking out about what's happening right now with Trump. But so far, would you say it's fair? And I know you have a legal background as well as a journalism background. This is all within the process. Things are moving, perhaps not at the speed that everybody, or at least some people would like, but things are moving along. And it's fair to say, I would think, that dictators don't usually take things to court and accept the court's decision.
Here's how I feel. It ain't over till it's over. And privately, if I'm having drinks at a cocktail party with a friend and they say, "What's the story?" I say, "It's probably over," right? It's probably over. But that's not the same as what's actually happening and what's responsible to say publicly in a reporting capacity. It isn't actually over. It's not. Trump's still got legal challenges pending. The states have not all certified their votes, and that's not going to happen until December 14th. And until then, what's the rush? Just calm down. It's good that he decided to cooperate with the GSA and Biden's team. Given the way the election looks now, there's no downside of doing that. Yes, it looks like Biden's going to be inaugurated as the next president on January 20th. What the hell's wrong with letting him kick the tires, pursue his legal challenges? It's not undermining the democracy. Sidney Powell's claims are extraordinary. They're different. But the sort of voter fraud, the laws weren't followed, they changed the laws in Philadelphia, those challenges, or Pennsylvania, are worth seeing through to the end.
And Megyn, we see a lot and hear a lot of what I think anybody would have to describe as hyperbolic analysis of this in the news media. Do you think it's fair to say, assuming, and I would agree with you, that the probability is certainly on the side of Joe Biden becoming the next president, but it is not over until it's over and the legal challenges should be exhausted. But it seems like journalists don't plan on going back to some older version of themselves, whether it was real or not, where they can report on things fairly, because here we are in a transition period. And they're still talking about Trump, the dictator who's responsible for killing 250,000 people. So under a Biden administration, are there really going to be calls for unity, and will the media magnify those or go in the opposite direction?
I mean, wasn't it just last week that Christiane Amanpour compared Trump to Hitler?
Nazis, yeah.
Didn't we just learn you're not supposed to do that? Because it could really tick off 74 million people. They haven't learned anything. They really believe it. That's the thing. It's not like you're trying to stop them from saying something that's naughty, but their heart's not really in it. They believe it. They think Trump is Hitler-esque. They think his followers are racists and bigots and all the ists that are on the bad list. So they're not going to stop. It's not going to be a unified country, nor should it be, because the two sides don't see eye to eye, and they have real battles that are worth fighting. I'm sick of the focus on it. I was like, stop saying we're unified and we're going to be unified. We're not going to be. And the Democrats wouldn't be saying that if President Trump had won again,
Oh, yeah.
If Trump manages to pull out these legal challenges and somehow reverses this whole thing, think the cry for unity will stand? I don't think so.
Yeah, unity right now, at least from the journalists and the Democrat elite, is essentially, shut up, Trump supporters. We don't want to hear it. You better come along for the ride or else. I mean, we all see what it is.
Shut up or we'll put you on a list. In fact, you're probably already on it.
I know. I've probably been put on a few lists at this point. Megyn, I also wanted to ask you about the cabinet picks that were rolled out today. We see, here's Biden talking about it. We can hear from him himself.
Together, these public servants will restore America globally, its global leadership, and its moral leadership, and will ensure that our service members, diplomats, and intelligence professionals can do their job free of politics.
They're all saying that these are the experts, these are the top of the line folks. What do you think?
I think it's returned to the status quo that we had before Trump. A lot of Obama guys. It's no one that's going to sort of buck any systems or break any China whatsoever. And I think that's a loss for the people who put Trump in office. I don't think they wanted status quo. I think they wanted somebody, some something to be shaken up, and they're not going to get it. And it's unfortunate because, the people in middle America who felt ignored for so long, who put Trump in office and who voted for him again, they're going right back to where they used to go. Biden, forgive my confusion. He's already going back to the old policies. He's already said he's going to re-implement regulations that are meant to protect the environment, but really are just going to crush manufacturing in the Rust Belt, right? He's going to re-implement critical race theory mandated training sessions at the federal level, which Trump undid. I think what we're going to see is in a way, a lot of what Trump did to Obama, which is an unraveling of the previous administration's agenda, item by item. And while that may feel good for the Biden supporters, I think it'll have real impact on the election we're going to have in 2 years.
It certainly also seems like there's a big shift that could occur here in the approach that a future Biden administration would take based upon whether they have unified government or not. Control of the Senate still hangs in the balance. We've got 762,000 absentee ballots have already been requested in Georgia, 3 times the number of requests made in the 2018 elections, according to election officials there. So we're starting to see, Megyn, there's going to be a tremendous focus on this because, well, let me ask you, if, let's say, the Democrats are able to pull off these 2 Senate seats, they win these 2 Senate seats, so they will have a majority in the Senate. If they're able to do that, do you think that this allegedly centrist Biden administration that would be kind of a replay of some Democrat party that I think never really existed, but this is what the media is saying. Would they stick to that script, or all of a sudden is it, oh, okay, now it's our way, and you start hearing a lot more in terms of policies that would line up with more of what the squad would say?
I'd love to believe that Biden is a moderate. I'm more in the center than I am an extremist on the right, or certainly on the left. I'd love to think the guy's going to be a moderate. So far, I don't see it. He's going to get rid of the oil and gas industry. Critical race theory is coming back. He's already saying he's going to wipe out due process for men accused on college campuses. The first couple of things he said he's going to do don't sound very centrist to me. I think people need to be very cautious about how these Georgia races are going to go. I realize no Republican has ever lost a runoff in the state of Georgia, but Georgia's never looked like it looks right now in terms of its voter turnout or in terms of the stakes, right? The Democrats are going to pour every single dollar they have into trying to get these 2 seats. And, at least one of the candidates down there is not particularly popular. So, the Republicans, I know they're focused on the Trump fight right now. And there's a real question about where is it smart to place your energy, your money, and, your time. What's going to matter? Because if we have undivided government, Biden in the White House and the Dems control the House and the Senate, that's how we got Obamacare, right? Now you're talking about possible major reforms. And as much as Joe Biden said this or that or the other thing when he was running, seems already to be governing in a different way. And who knows? They start thinking about their legacy when they get in there. And the next thing you know, 1/6 of the economy has been turned around without majority support.
It's been fascinating to me, Megyn, to watch so many in the journalistic establishment talk about how Trump is a fascist who specifically destroys the First Amendment for 4 years, when all the people saying that have become more prominent, more famous, probably richer, better known for attacking this alleged fascist, which is not, I know quite a bit of history in this regard. It's not how it works out in real fascist countries. The press, you don't get elevated when you attack the dictator, right? So this is all Trump derangement syndrome nonsense. But if we do go into a Biden administration, there will be 95% or so of journalists who effectively feel like they're playing for the home team now. They're going to do everything they can to support this, to advocate for this, to limit, to stifle criticism out there. But yet we have these new platforms coming out. We have shows like yours, the Megyn Kelly Show. What do you view your role as now an independent media brand, and also some of these new platforms that are coming out like Parler and Rumble and these other areas that don't have legacy media control? What do they look like in a Biden administration? What are you going to try to do?
Well, I think the difference between me and most of those, legacy media operations is I don't have Trump derangement syndrome, and I have an affinity only for one thing, and that's the truth. My fealties to the truth, to my audience, which are the same, right? And I think that allows me to report on anybody fairly. I've been reporting on Trump fairly. I'll report on Biden fairly. But I also happen to understand the right half of the country in a way 99% of the journalists out there either don't or don't care to. So it's a real gift in covering the news because you can see the derangement syndrome. Before there was Trump derangement syndrome, there was Bush derangement syndrome. You know, it's like most of the media hates conservatives, and they're going to report the news with those lenses on. And if you happen to have the gift of not wearing those lenses, I think you can see truth. I'm able to see when Trump does something controversial or, quote, bad. I can report on that easily, and I can certainly do the same for Biden. But I think, you know, the difference is you look at Fox, for example, they're going to defend Trump, and they're going to go after Biden for the most part. But in their defense, they'll be the only one on news and on the television doing that. All the other media will be doing the other stuff. The print media, the television, the broadcast, the cable. The democracy dies in darkness, you know, motto of the Washington Post, that's going to go away real fast. It's going to be, well, the light came out. What do you mean? We're good. We don't need any deep investigations. It's shiny now.
It's all going to be one big utopia for the media until we have some big problems, and then they're going to have to be playing defense for a guy who's almost 80 years old that had failed to become president for almost as long as I've been alive. So we'll see how that shakes out for them. He's been doing this for quite a while, but everyone should check out Megyn Kelly's show, the podcast that's out. Megyn, thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you as always. Really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Hey Team Buck, just want to say thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more great content from The First, please click that subscribe button.